How much does a songwriter make when Keith Urban covers one of their songs? Well, I also got my Elton John glasses yesterday. They are pretty wild. They are prescription and they are transition. So when I go outside, they do turn dark. But as you know, my husband, Stephen Bishop, wrote the song On, and Keith Urban is coming out with an album on June 12th called Flow State, and On is on that album, and Stephen owns 100% of the publishing. So how much could he make? The least amount he could make and the most amount he could make. Let's go through it. So many people have been asking me to do this video, and I wrote to one of my lawyers and I said, hey, can you break it down for me? And he just sent me an email on a Saturday, so thank you. So for physical and digital album sales, and they pay the legal statutory rate of 12.4 cents per physical copy or full album downloaded. So he said if you take 100,000 physical copies or album downloads, Stephen would get $12,400 from that. 250,000 physical copies sold, he would get $31,000 from that. Now, from streaming, Spotify, Apple, the industry pool pays typically, he said, around $3,000 to $4,000 per million streams based on royalty rates and the deals that you have. Because Stephen owns 100% of the publishing, remember, guard your publishing, his specific publishing slice, mechanicals and performance, pulls in roughly $600 to $700 per 1 million streams. So 10 million streams, Stephen would get $6,500, 50 million streams, $32,500, 100 million stream, $65,000. Now let's talk about touring. Keith tours all the time, and we hope to see him in person and on tour. And so Stephen is with ASCAP. We love ASCAP. That is paid directly from blanket licensing fees that the venues have to pay. So whenever an artist plays like a song live in a major arena or anywhere where there's public, music playing, they have to pay. So for an artist on Keith's scale, according to our lawyer, this averages $3,000 to $5,000 per night per song. Keith does not have to pay that. The venues have to pay that to the performing rights organization, and then they pay Stephen. So if Keith does a standard 40-date tour, Stephen could get an additional $120,000 a year just from Keith touring. If he does a massive arena tour, the bigger the stadium, the more money. Stephen can get anywhere between $240,000 to $300,000. Now, for terrestrial play radio, if it's top 20 hits, Stephen can get $40,000 to $60,000. If it's a top 10, $100,000 to $150,000. If it's a number one from recurrent airplay, $250,000 to $400,000 from radio alone. So the minimum Stephen can make without touring is $18,900. The absolute maximum is about $825,000 with touring, and the minimum with touring is about $140,000. So hopefully it becomes a number one. On really deserves it, and we are so excited for this album, and we are really big Keith Urban fans.